Good evening. So, today's Christmas Day, and I thought today would be a really good time for me to come on and just do an advice video, number one. But I think also a really good thing to do would be to be there for some of the community and some of the people who are perhaps feeling a little bit alone today, a little bit on their own. Sorry, I've just eaten a chocolate, and what happens to me when I do a video is my body is completely fine until I press record, and then it wants to die. 1 second. There we go. That's why people follow the channel, so you can hear me suffer. Normally at the Hands of Games workshop. So, I went round to my parents today, well, my mother's house, where my sister was, and her boyfriend, well, her partner. I was with my grandpa, who, you know, a lot of you are very aware that I look after him. Sometimes you hear him shouting in the background if Everton are losing. Or if you need something, you know, if I leave the stream sometimes, or a video, whatever, sometimes I leave, you know, to make sure he's okay. Because when I moved back from the United States, I moved in with my grandpa, actually. Paid off the house and got things all sorted out here so that it would stay in the family. It's not going to go anywhere, and then hopefully, you know, that alleviates some pressure from him. You know, I thought it'd be a good thing to do when I got back from America. And plus, I'm not paying rent, and I want to save money to have for the rest of my life. You know, when I finally meet somebody, or, you know, things kick off. But anyway, I went round to my mum's house today for Christmas dinner, and I really hate Christmas. I'm not afraid to say it anymore. Like, I just can't stand it. I'm not one of these people. I don't like to be bothered, you know, and I think Christmas likes to bother you. Christmas doesn't leave you alone. It follows you around. It's constantly in your face. You get people calling you all sorts of, you know, oh God, you're such a, you know, that sort of a thing when you don't like Christmas. But some of us are introverts. I'm an extrovert in certain situations, but most of the time I'm an introvert. I like being on my own. I'm a bit of a loner. I like doing things that I want to do. And, you know, Christmas gets in the way of that 9 times out of 10. It's a burden on your finances, on your resources, and I think, in all honesty, it's a holiday that manipulates you into getting into debt to show the people in your life that you love them. And I don't think that's right. You know, I'm fully in for having a holiday where we spend time together and things like that, because I know, you know, people aren't like me for the most part. But I just don't like Christmas. And today I kind of figured out why. Beyond all that, in that I went round to my mum's house and sat down, we had Christmas dinner, and I looked around the dinner table, and there was couples, there was, you know, people getting on with their lives, there was, and trust me, my life at the moment isn't bad. Like, in fact, professionally, it's kind of going really well. You know, I've never had so much teaching work. I'm sort of setting up the rest of my life where I would like to get into teaching because I want to teach, not because it's a living, you know. And I'm sort of seeing how I could do that now as a plan. I'm getting out there and seeing what I could do with it, you know. And I've always wanted to write. A lot of you know that. Or help people write, and I think that's also something that could be on the horizon, you know, where we'll see how things pan out. But there are a bunch of different opportunities that I'm going to be taking in the new year that may or may not get me nearer to my goal. And of course, YouTube as well is kicking off. You know, we've got a really fantastic channel, so and it was fine. My life's going pretty well professionally. But personally, you know, I was looking around the table and people are really happy. People are sitting there and getting on with things, and it just made me realise how alone I am, or how lonely I am, in more of in extending the way. Now, I'm not looking for pity at all. Like, that's just not what I'm doing, and that's not who I am. In fact, one of my main things I'm in therapy for is I have a real hard time accepting compliments and accepting love. I have a really difficult time doing that. My self-loathing is such that I don't respond well to compliments, right? I do. I accept them. Oh, thank you very much. But inside, I want to die. Like, I'm just like, I don't deserve that compliment. I'm such a fraud. You know, I'm just the worst person in the world. I've duped all of these people into thinking that I'm good at writing, or I've duped all of these people into thinking that I'm a good history teacher, you know, or I've duped all of you guys into thinking that I'm actually a decent person, right? And I have a real hard time accepting compliments, and that is actually a condition. It's not, you know, I always thought it was just a quirk. Apparently it's not. Then it's actually quite serious and can lead to, you know, suicidal thoughts and things like that, and feelings of worthlessness and nihilism that aren't good for you. So, working on that going forward. But, yeah, being there today really made me aware of how I was feeling in that moment, and it was like, I felt like the fly in the ointment. I felt like everyone's having a good time, but then there's me, you know, and I'm sitting there, not dragging everyone down. I've got a mask on, but I felt like I was a bit of a fraud. Like, what am I doing? I'm not a normal person. What is this normal family doing with me here? Like, you know, there would be a better time if I wasn't here, you know. And it doesn't take, whilst that's not a suicidal thought, because I'm not thinking, oh my god, you know, I don't want to be here anymore. It's very serious that you know, you need to look at those thoughts. If you're having thoughts like that, you need to look at them and examine them. Because if you're thinking it would be better for them if I wasn't here, that's only a little jump from there to I want to die, right? And nobody who watches my channel should ever be in that situation. Because you've got me. You have me. My Discord is down there. People have already messaged me. I talk to people all the time, as much as I can, as much as my time allows. You are never bothering me. Ever. You are never bothering me. Message me all you like. I may be lazy. I may be in bed. I may have to get back to you when I've finished school, but I will get back to you, right? But you're never bothering me. I'm always on your side, and this channel is always there for you. Right. Boilerplate disclaimer out the way. So, yeah, I think I just wanted to say that, is that I realised today I had a little epiphany of why I don't like Christmas, you know? I have a really hard time accepting love and affection, and Christmas is full of that. I'm naturally a bit of a loner. But, you know, Patrice O'Neill said it right, like he said so many other things right. He's basically a philosopher, and God rest his soul. But, like, he said, he was a comedian, but to me he's a philosopher of some kind, you know, some prophet. And he said, men don't want to be alone, but we want to be by ourselves. And that's exactly how I feel. I don't want to be alone. Like, I want somebody in my life. I want somebody who I can count on, but I don't want to be by myself, you know? And in a weird way, that might be why my last relationship probably didn't work out, because I loved being in a relationship. But the reality is, day to day, I was miserable, you know, when we were actually together. You know, now I think back on it, you know, I wasn't happy at all. I could have been happy if I had therapy and understanding, and I'd gotten there. I would have been very happy. And I sometimes sit there and I think, you know, what could life have been if I was a well-adjusted person who had already had therapy, and if I was the kind of person I am now, you know, going forwards, back then, just a year ago, where would I be, you know? And you torture yourself with those thoughts. But I think there are a lot of people in the same boat. I mean, you do, and we want to be on our own. We want to be by ourselves, but we don't want to be alone, right? There's a huge difference. Being by yourself is being able to make the choice to be by yourself, and it's a good feeling to have. To go home and be like, I'm going to go play video games, I'm going to go do this and do that. I had a really good conversation with Steady last night. It was one of my best friends. He was chuckling away on the South Park video in the background while he was playing No Man's Sky, if you were watching that. But he spoke about having that feeling of, you know, you've only got 3 days off work, and you're saying to yourself, I'm going to go do so much gaming these 3 days, you know, I'm going to do all the things I wanted to do, and you don't do any of it because you're too tired. You're mentally too tired. And then on the Sunday night, of course, because you're off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, on Sunday night, you hate yourself because you haven't got anything done. And a large part of my therapy is also about me accepting the fact that sometimes doing nothing is exactly what you need to do. It's not procrastinating. Your mind's doing exactly what it needs. It's forcing you to stop and not do anything, you know, and that's okay. And that's okay. You can enjoy that time. You know, it's productive. Your mind is healing. It's doing its own thing. So those are the things I learned today. I always thought it's better. I'm very much a teacher, show your work kind of a person. Like, if you're doing videos like this, you should be coming out there yourself and saying, hey, here's what I'm thinking, here's what I'm doing, and here's what we can learn from each other. So that's my, 10 cents worth today, before I get into any sort of advice and things like that are going on. So let me just have a look here. My advice corner. Let me see if I've got any. Oh, we've got lots of mail in today. All right. Okay. First one is a bit more of a light-hearted one. Okay. In love with my lesbian friend. Yeah. So this is a guy, a gentleman. Again, you've given your name. Guys, please don't put your names on these, because that means, because of the way I am, I can't read them verbatim, because I know I'm going to slip up and read your name out, and I'm very paranoid. So please don't put your names on them. If you're emailing me, do not put your names on them. Just have have your screen name, so no one knows who you are, and that's fine. If you're on the Discord, I already ad-lib what your message is, because I can't, obviously, if I say your name, people are going to know who you are. But anyway, oh, tea time. That's anyone who's on the, thank you, yes, going to have my tea. Quite right, very nice, good. Ah, all is right with the world. So, in love with my lesbian friend. So, dear Exile, I am in love, or, well, I think I have feelings for a friend of mine who is a lesbian. I'm a 25-year-old male, straight, pretty good looking, and I've been meeting with this girl for years, on and offline, as part of our D&D group. It always starts there, doesn't it? Let's be honest. Your crush, there's always one. She's recently been telling me that she's thinking about relapsing and becoming straight again. Thinking about being straight again? What? About being straight again because she can't get laid. Okay. Right. Alrighty. She's talking to this other guy and flirting with him constantly, which makes me really jealous, because I want to be in there. I want to be that guy. What would be your advice moving forward? Should I just leave her, or should I carry on in my pursuit? Even though it might not be the best thing for her mentally. Okay, so... dude, how do I put it this way? There are so many chicks out there for you to go with, and guys do this all the time, in that they find one who gives them the time of day, and they'll hang around like a bad smell. I'm willing to bet, I'm inferring here, but I'm willing to bet that this girl's super cool, right? She gets all of your jokes, she makes you feel good, okay? She may have even flirted with you a little bit, so you may be thinking, ooh, maybe she's into me, or maybe I want to get in there. But as far as I'm concerned, man, I really hate it when people say, "Oh, get some self-esteem and just move on." I hate that, because it's not that easy. It's not that easy, especially if you're a man, right? You don't get told yes every single day. Not like women. Women tend to be able to. I mean, look at the video I just did yesterday, right? About women in hobby stores. You know, women can walk into any situation like that, tap a guy on the shoulder and say, "Take me for a coffee." And if they're good looking, in a hobby shop, even if they're not good looking, probably, they're going to have the guy go, "Okay, cool, let's go." And they will ditch their friends, they will take that girl to coffee, right? It just is. Men can't do that, right? So when people say to you, "Oh, just carry on, don't worry about it," you know, that's bullshit, because we don't get told yes every day, we don't get interest every day. Some of us don't get interest every year, never mind every day, right? So, people telling you to move on, they're judging you by how they judge everybody else in the world, and that's a load of bullshit. As far as I'm concerned, I understand what you're doing, right? I understand that this girl ticks a lot of your boxes, but you have to do something incredibly mentally hard, and that you have to do one of two things. One, you admit your feelings to this girl, very seriously, you lay it all out, say, "Hey, I think we get along great. I think we're really good together. If you're serious about your sexual identity, then I'd like to be considered as a partner. Be that up front, and then walk away. Don't say anything else. Just put the phone down. Say, look, I'm gonna go. I had to talk. I had to say that to you. I'm gonna go. I'll see you later. Bang, and put the phone down. Right? Or if you're there together, right at the end of like one of your get-togethers, if you're going for a coffee or something, say it to her, and then go. Just leave. Right? Leave her with that information and see what she does with it. That's one option. She's either going to come back very politely and say, no, thank you, right? I love you as a friend. Or she's going to go, thank God he finally made the fucking move. Let's go ahead with this, right? Or it might just shock her as a third option. And she goes, actually, I am gay. What am I doing, right? Either way, you're helping her in one of those situations, right? That's the first thing that you can do. The second thing that you can do is to walk away, right? Is to say to her, look, you know, no, don't say anything to her. Treat her as a friend. She's your friend, right? And shut that door in your heart gradually. Shut it very, very slowly and say, look, this isn't going to work out, right? I've had to do this before, like when I've really liked somebody, but it's obviously not going to work out. You step back and you say, look, this isn't going to work out. I need to go away. I need to go and think about what I want to do with my life and go find me a woman who's going to tick those boxes and not be a lesbian, right? Again. Getting over heartache isn't... Because I've had like 3 or 4 emails like this. Well, 2 messages and 2 emails, really. But getting over heartache is not something that just happens. If anyone tells you to get over it, yeah, just fuck those people off. At least for a while. Just switch them off. Just go, nah, sorry. Goodbye. Right? Because you don't just get over heartache. That's not how it works. That is genuinely not how it works. It's going to take you a while. If you're anything like me, it'll take you years. It will take you years to finally put down the heartache and get on with your life. I do something that's pretty unhealthy. Whenever I've had my heart broken, usually a couple of months later, or maybe even, you know, a year later, instead of actually... sorry, I'm switching off for a second. Instead of actually making sure that I am getting over that person and I shut that part of my life off and I move on, I'll become involved with somebody else. Now, the last time I did that, it actually worked out for the better because I was totally in love with the person that I met after my heartache, right? But in reality, all you're doing there is you're carrying around a heart with a lot of scars and a lot of scratches that aren't quite healed on it. What we need is something that is healed up and ready to go. So the hardest thing for you to do is accept that that's happened and walk away. But when people tell you to get over it, that's generally what they mean. They're doing it in a very dickhead, standoffish way. What I would do is I would find as much solace in your friends as you can, right? And the second thing that I would do, and when I say solace in your friends, I mean go out. I don't mean get hammered. Right? I mean, go out, right, and try and live your life. Join the gym. Join a gym. Doesn't matter what you look like. Join the gym. Sort your diet out. Use that pain. Do the man thing. The man thing is to use that pain, use that anger, and turn it into energy to do other things. My advice to you is, and this is what I've started to do, since I've been back, I've thrown myself into my YouTube. And I've started to see returns. I've used that heartache to push me on and carry on going and say, you know, fuck you. Fuck you, you're not doing this to me. I do this to me every day. You don't get to do this to me, right? You don't get to make me miserable. My mind makes me miserable. You don't get that privilege. Go fuck yourself, right? And I've taken that and I've put it into my YouTube and I've tried and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed all year, you know. I've gotten out there. I've spoken to people that still work in Games Workshop. I've spoken to friends. I've gotten a collation of stories that are really cool and heartwarming and sometimes infuriating. But I've got tons of them and people want to hear them. And it's really, really cool. I get the odd knob jockey who just wants to come on and say, oh, you fucking obsessed. You know. But at the end of the day, that's fine. Because obviously they've got a really big branded, you know, love for the hobby, a love for Games Workshop. That's kind of weird. Or they could just be doing behaviours that are more about them than me, right? It's more about them. They have to say something nasty, right? They have to be a no contrarian. But I poured that not hatred, but that grief of losing somebody like that into my YouTube, and we're seeing results. It speaks for itself, right? Today was the first month in a long time. This is why it means so much to me when you watch my videos. Today was the first month where really, where I've earned money from teaching, which has been great. Because of Christmas, it's really hit me hard. But it didn't hit me that hard this Christmas. It was like, I'd YouTube. Google came in and said, hey, there's some money. Thank you very much for the ad revenue. I'm like, oh, thank you very much, YouTube. Right? And it's not a lot, but it's helped me. It definitely has helped me get on and carry on. And if you do that, the only reason I'm saying the gym, because it's general, right? You know what's best for you. What's best for you would be do that. Whatever you can throw yourself into that's productive, do that. The bog standard thing to do is to look at your body, go to the gym, work out, eat right, sleep properly, right? Even if you're a night owl, go to sleep at 4 AM, wake up at 12 if you can, every single day. 8 hours a day, every single day, right? Get the maximum amount of daylight that you can. Go out running, do something. Pour yourself into something. Even if it's something creative that you might actually get some sort of financial benefit from and eventually. Start writing. Take a writing class. You know, come to me and learn how to write, right? And I'll sit down with you for free and give you my time of day. I don't mind doing that, right? There's always people out there who can help, but get yourself out there and turn that grief energy into something else. Do not sit and wallow in it. It will destroy you. It will destroy you, and it will poison you against women. If this is, you know, if you're with I'm going to use woman because I'm heterosexual. So it will poison you against women. You will never trust them again if you sit in it. I made that mistake a few times of just sitting in it, and I despised women. They still annoy me. Don't get me wrong, right? Don't get me wrong, you know, like don't even, honest to God, right? You all still annoy me. Norn Queen Kaya, you all still annoy me. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. But you don't carry around that hatred, right? You can't let it poison you, right? Because you will never get anywhere. People will sense that a mile away and they'll be turned off. They'll just walk away, right? You've got to give people a chance, right? I'm sure if you're homosexual, I'm sure men do things that drive you up the wall, right? I mean, it's hard to hate yourself, I guess, but no, it's not hard to hate yourself, because I know lesbians who absolutely don't like women. So, you know, everyone becomes completely exacerbated with the people that they're normally attracted to, because you do see the more vile aspects of that demographic. You just do when you have your heart broken. But don't sit in it, right? Yes, our partners can do things, or the opposite sex can do things that are, completely annoying. But that doesn't mean that you need to sit there in it all the time and let it poison you and start taking these things as like a crusade and say, look, there is no wage gap and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to tell you now, that's not attractive. That's not attractive. Having that attitude isn't attractive. No matter how right you may be, having that wagging finger isn't attractive. And I'm getting into that because I know a lot of guys who've done this, because I've done this before, right? I've done this before, where you go in and you are just done with the opposite sex, or the sex that you are attracted to. You're just done with it. If you sit there and wallow in this, that is what will happen, because the only reasonable reception or response to somebody hurting you on that level is to lash out. And you will. Okay? By the way, if you are female and you're watching this and you do watch the channel, please comment down below, because I made a point of doing that before with Norn Queen, and because I looked at my YouTube demographics, 99.9% of my viewers are male. So if you're a female and you comment on my videos, you will get a shout out, because they are very, very rare and few and far between. So that's my advice. Do not wallow in it. Turn your frustration and heartache into something that's a positive. That's the only thing that's going to pull you out of this. It's helped me a lot. And I have had the year from hell. My Christmas card today from my sister literally said, I really hope 2022 is better for you. That's literally what it said. That's how bad it's been at times this year. It's been shocking. Really, really, really bad. But now we're at the end. It's almost like we've run a race this year. We're crossing the line, or at that part in the race where it's pretty much settled where you're going to end up. So you're just jogging to the finishing line now, and that's where. And it's a nice place to be in, just to sit back and go, okay, well, there was the year. There was 2021, and I was supposed to get married this year. Let's not forget. In fact, I was supposed to get married in 2020. Thanks, fucking COVID. But it's affected us all in different ways, hasn't it? Because the next part of advice is how to get over COVID loneliness. Look at me doing segues, like I'm an actual YouTuber these days. That was seamless, that one. That was like a sidestep into another story. I'm going to have a sip of my rum first. This is my first rum, by the way. I'm not doing this pissed. Oh, Daddy loves this rum. Right. So, getting over COVID seclusion. Been here a lot, and not just that, but I've had basically I'm not going to say life ruined, but life definitely upturned by COVID. I was supposed to be in America in early 2020, and then married by mid 2020. I went over. It was a year later almost when I finally went over, and lo and behold, after all the pressure and all the build-up, the relationship could not survive that strain, and it didn't happen. So for me, I would say COVID had at least a 40 to 45%, hand in that thing imploding. I really do think that. Not just because boilerplate COVID. I mean, like, one thing affecting another thing and affecting another thing. That it goes on like that way. So, we've all had it affect us in different ways. Some people have lost people, which is why I'm very reticent to even talk about my experience, because people have lost loved ones and things like that. But it is very important to sit down and note, that people have had their lives ruined, through no fault of their own. People have had their lives severely altered. And I'm telling you now, if you work in an 8-hour job a day, a 45-hour-a-week job, and you go back to work, you are going to be miserable because because working from home is pretty fucking sweet, especially for people like us who like to sit at home and generally be surrounded by the things that we like whilst doing our work. So I became a writer. I became a writer for two reasons. Number one, I like getting up at midday. I don't like the mornings. I'm not a morning person. Number two, it's better for my psyche. I can sit here at my desk, at my computer, and I can get work done, and I can have a nice time. I can make myself a cup of tea. I'm not beholden to anybody, and I'm still earning money, right? That, and I love writing, of course. But, like, you know, the selfish reasons, those are right up there, right? So in getting over COVID seclusion, I would actually say find something that you are passionate about and use it. A lot of people I've spoken to have used the hobby. They've been really, really in-depth, wanting to do the hobby, wanting to get into it, and as Games Workshop's profit margin has shown, a lot of people have turned to that as a serious excuse to get into the hobby, right? Write that book, you know? And I know this piece of advice came because everyone's fearing a new lockdown. It might not even happen. It might not even happen. It probably will, but it might not, you know? So my advice would be, have a COVID plan. If shit hits the fan and you've got to be indoors for a while, have that plan of what you want to do with your time. Okay? Have that book that you want to work on. Have that book that you want to finish. Have that long-term project that you want to work on. Have that army ready that you want to work on. Have something in the pipeline. Just simmering. Just simmering so it's ready to go. That'll be my advice. That's the only piece of advice I'm going to give, because every single situation for COVID being on your own in isolation is completely unique. And so it's unfair of me to like start giving in-depth advice because it might not be applicable to you, right? So, those are my bits of advice for tonight. We've been doing about half an hour now, so I think it's about time I stopped ranting and started chilling out. But I just wanted to help you out, especially if you're having a bit of a lonely time today. Well, treat this video as your time to come in and have a little chat to somebody. You know, the Discord is in the link down below. So is my Patreon. Please only ever give what you can. Please do not give if you can't. I would really like a message if you're on Discord, if you want to come and say hello, if you need some help. That'd be nice. I love helping people. But beyond that, there will be more Warhammer lore videos coming up over the next couple of days. We've got magic up next, so we're going to go over all the different forms of magic that are in the Warhammer Old World setting. I'm going to record some Norse campaign later for the new Let's Play on the channel, Warhammer 2, Total War. We'll be uploading Dragon Age, because that's finished now, apart from the 2 DLCs that happen after the main story. The main story's finished and recorded, so that'll be up as well. And of course, there'll be more Games Workshop stories or hobby store stories all banded in together. They'll be coming as well. Probably every other day before the end of the Christmas break, the end of the New Year break, there will be a hobby story ready for you. So, have a really, really good Christmas, rest of your day. I hope I helped you out a little bit in getting through it, if it's a bit of a lonely one. And if it's not, then, you know, congratulations. Take those people and hold them close and make sure that they never leave. Alright. Have a really good day, guys. Love you all. Speak to you next time.